Luxury watch mistakes to avoid. While some individuals might believe smartwatches or fitness trackers are more beneficial, real purists know that nothing can compare to a conventional watch. Mechanical timepieces are capable of delivering their owners so much delight. They convey your sense of style and your admiration for engineering and craftsmanship. Welcome back to our video. In this video, I'll share a few mistakes that you must avoid before and after buying a luxury watch. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, you can do so by clicking here. Without any delay, let's begin with mistakes to avoid while buying a luxury watch. Number 1. Thinking that expensive watches are better than cheap watches. It doesn't necessarily mean a watch will tell time any better than a $100 watch just because you spent $10,000 on it. Like any other instrument, a watch is an instrument. This price does not always indicate quality. The most expensive and best watches in the world can be found together. You can't know the quality you're getting from the price alone. Manufacturers charge more for watches with unique characteristics like radio signals or atomic timekeeping. Although attractive, they do not improve the watch's ability to tell the time. Decide what you want your watch to do for you before spending a lot of money on it. If you want an inexpensive timepiece, don't squander your money on a high-end model. Number 2. Over-reliance on brand names and model names. When purchasing a watch, the brand name and model name is imprinted prominently on the watch face. That will likely capture your attention first. Because watch manufacturers invest a lot of time and effort in marketing their products, many distinct brands of watches are available. However, this can be misleading because just because a watch shares the same name as another model doesn't mean that it is essentially the same watch with a few small cosmetic alterations. The $300 Seiko Monaco and the $700 Tag Heuer Monaco on the shelf next to each other are most likely not produced by the same firm. Therefore, research before spending a lot of money on a watch to ensure it isn't just a little upgraded version of something else that is less expensive. The brand displayed on the dial is frequently the only thing that differs. Number 3. Putting too much emphasis on style over content. Don't fall into the trap of believing that a watch must adhere to a specific style or design to be practical. Looking beautiful is still important. Even if you're buying something that will primarily sit on your wrist, many fashionable watches are available that can tell just time as precisely as a less fashionable watch. The main distinction is in the price. In this case, you typically get what you pay for. So while it's crucial to avoid looking sloppy when choosing a watch, don't let appearances fully dictate your choices and unnecessarily increase the price. Number 4. Ignoring the small details. It's easy to ignore the small features when purchasing a watch, although small is relative. You're not buying tiny screws here. There are still some crucial details that you could easily overlook if you're not paying attention. These facts include the locations of the manufacturing of your watch's components, the materials employed, and the type of guarantee offered. When purchasing watches for themselves or someone else, many people economize on these items. Include yourself in the research process when purchasing a watch as a gift to prevent making blunders. Knowing what to look for will help you avoid making the same mistakes when purchasing your watch, even if you aren't purchasing the watch. Number 5. Uncertain about your goals. If you're like most people, wearing a watch is probably an integral part of your daily routine, it's difficult to avoid feeling naked without one. But desiring to wear a watch is not the same as truly needing one. More than others, certain people require watches. For instance, it undoubtedly makes no sense to invest in a timepiece that will help you keep track of your day if you spend most of your time selling items or conducting business over the phone. And when choosing a watch, this is a crucial choice to make. Number 6. Having trouble choosing a watch. If you aren't particularly knowledgeable about timepieces, choosing a watch can be as difficult as choosing a car or computer. You can be perplexed by several things, particularly if you have never purchased a watch before. Fortunately, you don't need to be an expert on watches to choose one that will suit your needs. Instead, concentrate on the fundamentals and look up possibilities online if you need more details. Before choosing a brand, you may for instance examine testimonials from previous customers of several brands. The internet is a fantastic tool for gaining advice while choosing a watch, so use it whenever you can. Moving to the next part of this video, that is, mistakes you must avoid after buying a luxury watch. Years of using mechanical watches can lead to bad habits. As an experienced driver might fail their driving exam on the second try, an experienced watch user might be destroying their watch without ever realizing it. I have learned a few tips I wish I had when I first began collecting watches. Without further ado, here are the problems you can easily avoid when wearing and storing watches. I'm assuming these easy tips would be helpful for other people as well. Number 1. Subtitling watches to powerful magnets. Magnets are a vintage watch's worst nightmare, so this one is particularly relevant. The bell and spring of a watch and other small, quickly moving components of the watch's escapement start to adhere to one another when it becomes magnetized. The watch will either start running quickly, slowly, or not at all as a result, due to widespread use of magnets in modern society. From iPhone cases to back clasps, speakers, and kitchen appliances, it is particularly challenging to avoid them. Most contemporary timepieces use some magnetic resistance, either by encasing the movement in an anti-magnetic cage or utilizing a bell and spring made of a non-magnetic substance. If a vintage watch becomes magnetized, you must undergo a special process to remove the magnetism. Number 2. Accurate date change at the wrong time. The date change risk zone should be understood if your watch has a date function. While this happens, changing the date on your watch risks damaging the moment and throwing the date window out of alignment. The hours of 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. are typically considered to be the danger zone for watch setup. If you try to force it manually during this time, you risk snapping teeth or pins in the gears, which are in motion to switch the date. It's best to change the date on a watch only when both hands point to 6 to prevent this, because you will know you're not in the danger zone. Number 3. Watches are not being stored correctly. A watch might suffer over time from improper storage. This may occur in extremely hot or humid conditions or in direct sunshine. This could result in expensive repairs such as watch dial fading, lubricants in the movement drying out, or moisture getting inside the watch. To prevent the watch from stopping working, it is essential to keep your watch at room temperature in a container such as a watch box, watch winder, or watch roll, and to move it frequently. Number 4. Overwinding your watch. Another advice for those who wear vintage timepieces: don't overwind your watch. Older watches and watches wound by hand will tell you when they're fully wound. Resistance should begin to feel present. Stop winding at the moment when you encounter some resistance. You'll be relieved to learn that most contemporary automatic watches cannot be overwound, since, when fully wound, the winding mechanism disconnects from the mainspring. Number 5. Wearing watches with water resistance on purpose while swimming or diving. While expensive timepieces are frequently water resistant, they are nonetheless susceptible to water damage. When you dive or swim in a pool, the water pressure is significantly higher than what the watch is intended to withstand. Watches are made to withstand a particular level of water pressure. Water may thus seep into the watch, harming the mechanism. The chlorine and other chemicals in pool water can also harm the watch's casing and straps. Even though the casing of your watch is made of stainless steel, corrosion can still affect it. Therefore, avoid wearing your expensive watch while diving or in a pool is recommended. Number 6. Knowing nothing about the functions of your expensive watch. Failure to fully utilize a luxury watch's capabilities is the worst part of ownership. Some luxury watches, like other timepieces, are constructed with improved features and various functionalities. For instance, if you want a sports wristwatch, you probably also want the extra functions. Aim to examine the watch. Give yourself enough time to become familiar with your watch's capabilities. Visit a forum to gain knowledge from other watch owners, or you might visit the shop and speak with the salesman there. The majority of fine timepieces include a handbook. Use it to familiarize yourself with its objective. That is all for this video. We hope you found this video informative. We'll be back soon with another informative video. Don't forget to like and share this video, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, you can do so by clicking here. See you soon, until next time.